My name's Tony. I'm the recovery staff supervisor at Live Free Recovery Services in PHP and Keene. I'm also an addict, alcoholic, whatever you want to call it. I guess you could say what it used to be like, right? I've done the treatment thing quite a few times. I would say probably double-digit programs, you know, whether it be IOPs, PHPs, residentials, like pretty much the gambit, you could say, sober livings, etc. A brief look at what it used to look like. At best, like drugs and alcohol got me, like I was like a homeless drug addict. That's usually about as good as it got for me. I was able to, you know, steal from my family, lie, burn every bridge essentially. I did the thing quite a few times, man, and at best all ever got me was kind of the same spot. No place to go, nobody answering my calls, doing the hustle, same thing every day, and being miserable. It was the only thing I knew how to feel better, and I did it in excess. You know, I was relatively hopeless, and I would say my family could probably attest to that. Meth really ruined my life for a long number of years, and I was getting to the point where I was pretty done with trying to get better. I was pretty okay with just getting high every day, living to get high, getting high to live, that type of thing. That was kind of my daily. Go to a job I hate so I can make enough money to get high. Couldn't go to the job unless I got high first. Do that over and over and over again. Incomprehensible demoralization, that stuff we do. Settling for less, I can make the best of this, whatever. Turned me into a person I didn't want to be. Done a lot of things that I regret, especially when it comes to stuff with my family, my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandmother. What changed for me, you know, they call it, I guess I'll call it a moment of clarity, right? For whatever reason, I picked up the phone again, and I went to Live Free in 2017. Still, it was pretty early on. Again, wasn't sure I wanted to be sober, wasn't sure what I was really doing. I guess I didn't really know. I didn't really have the answer. For me, that was really helpful because I was a kid who really didn't know what end was up. I didn't really have any more answers. I was kind of out of excuses and like I didn't know what to do. So basically, I woke up, you know, at another treatment center. It happened to be Live Free this time. I had quite a bit of a different experience than what I normally do. Things that I would say, like the intangibles that Live Free gave me, were that they taught me how to be like self-sustainable and how to take care of myself in like ways that other treatment centers have never done. They taught me how to be responsible for myself. They taught me how to take pride in simple things like making my bed and like gaining positive momentum in my life and being able to stack one thing in front of the other, you know, one foot in front of the other, and like take some action in my life and be able to, one, be responsible for myself, like two, be able to be held accountable, and three, live a life that like I wasn't ashamed to be living, you know what I mean? I didn't know anything. I was a kid. I didn't know how to do laundry. I didn't know how to cook for myself. I could barely clean up after myself. Like things people had done for me my whole life that I took for granted that I did was like too embarrassed to let people know that I didn't know. Guys that Live Free took the time to show me that kind of stuff and to make sure I knew what I was doing. They were really big on joining a 12-step fellowship, and they really pushed that on me. I was resistant at first, but again, I didn't know what I was doing, and I took the advice of the guys there. They made it seem like that's what I wanted to be doing. They taught me how to take care of myself and to not like be the leech that I'd been for, you know, what, 23 years. To every person who ever cared about me, all I've done is like been a leech. So for that, like I'm eternally grateful, and like they showed me a different way. And they showed me a different way rather than like talking at me. Like guys showed me. Guys literally pulled me aside, showed me what to do, and like helped me do it to the point like where I could do it myself. The 12-step fellowship stuff was super critical for me too. That's never been pushed on me as hard as it was at Live Free, and for that I'm eternally grateful as well. From start to finish, man, like they took me into PHP, pushed me into sober living, and like kept me in the loop even after. Whether it be alumni, whether it be just like the fellowship, the group of guys who I know from like going through Live Free. I'm still in touch with some of those guys 6 years later today. That's something I never had when I got sober before. I never had the connections that I made at Live Free, and like those connections, like there's like guys who I talk to every day who I've known since I moved to New Hampshire. You know, a product of sticking around, my life got a lot better really quick. I'm a huge part of my family now. Like I get to like be included in almost everything, which is bizarre. I mean, I live 1,000 miles away from my entire family. I've never been closer with them in my entire life. Like for once in my life, like what I say, like could be corroborated, which is crazy. Like I'm, you know, a person with integrity now. Like I tell the truth. But like again, like a product of doing the right things, I was blessed with an opportunity to work for Live Free. You know, there's a lot of principles that got instilled in me from going through Live Free, and I think a lot of it's like right action, integrity. You know, like that big integrity piece, and like a super big piece of humility that like was pushed upon me is that like I'm not better than anybody else, and like this thing could just very easily be taken away from me if I don't continue to like do the stuff that God impressed upon me. So like I take that stuff pretty seriously because of like how good life has gotten. The good thing about Live Free nowadays is like we offer a full continuum of care, all the way from detox down to residential to PHP into like lower levels of care, like even just standalone sober living. There's no finish line for this thing, man. I'm a firm believer that like staying as long as you can and putting yourself in a position to like be best successful is always the answer.